is this state policing that we are talking about going to supplant the local government, vigilante system, or is it that we are going to also have, apart from the state police, we already have a federal police, are we also going to have local government police? Because even now we're talking about local government autonomy, so that all of these things, a dividend of government will reach the grassroots. So, so is it going to, change the existing apparatus? And talking about different regions having, or different states having their own peculiar structure. And that brings to the fore again the ethnic tension, which we often talk about. Okay, so this is the Southwest. We have the Oyo, we have the... So how do they relate to people that are not from that ethnic region? All of these concerns. So how do you think this addresses it?
Thank you very much, Brian. State police does not mean that when you form a state police, it will only comprise of citizens of that peculiar state.
But that is one of the reasons they are saying it, because
it will not necessarily have to be comprising of only citizens of that state. There will be people who will be hired who are experts in some aspects of policing. Yeah. And then, of course, they will be on certain contract terms. And, of course, policing is a fluid and continuous process that even in Lagos, as we have it, go to Lasma. Every Lasma man is not Yoruba, is not... You can check them out.
No, sir. Sorry. One of the reasons, the argument advanced for the creation of state police is that the people from that locality, they know the terrain, because that is the lacuna that the
I understand what you are trying to interrogate. You see, before you get to state, if you want to really operate a comprehensive system, you must have this local government police, in whatever name you want to call them, up to the world level. In some other climes, you have sheriffs that police some counties, for instance. He drives around with his car, he checks on people, he asks questions. But there are still people around some street areas that are part of the policing architecture. They don't have to be employed to wear uniform. The citizens who have been trained to understand the terrain, they can report unusual movements. They have empowered to communicate.
Intelligence gathering.
Yeah. That is community-based. Every trouble, every politics is local. It comes from the community. And if you don't have criminals embedding themselves anymore in these communities, and they are reported as soon as they start migrating into those communities, then you are likely to nip in the bud. And of course, the traditional rulers are supposed to be part of what we are talking about, because they know everything that's happening within their terrain. And they will be more comfortable reporting through a system that is homegrown, and they can always sustain it. If there are issues, as we move along, you can fine-tune whatever arrangements you are doing.
Absolutely.
Nothing is cast in stone.
Now, the other matter will be funding.
Yeah.
Who takes the responsibility? The state or the federal government as it is? Because some states are said to not be as viable to be able to manage some of these responsibilities as it is. That's one of the challenges that some persons say we might face.
Yeah, in the face of minimum wage as well, which some of them have not even refused to pay.
Agreed.
Thank you very much. You see, there will never be enough in the till for everything. But I know that in this country, we have been reading and watching and also seeing a lot of people being brought into the courts for grafting money, for stealing money. There are lots of monies that have been so loose that people are able to pinch them and get away with them. Some of them still get away with it. And of course, the issue of security funding. Lagos is a very, very, very good example, a model of how security is funded. Some of these things are being funded by all stakeholders. Security. You can even put a little tax on. You see, some of the taxes are ongoing, but they are going to private pockets. If you go to Motor Park, for instance, all these tickets that they are cutting out, you discover that in one major bus stop, it's a revenue base for some people who don't account for that. It doesn't go into the federal. I'm talking about this touting and everything. Some of them may go to Oshodi alone and see how much is being collected from buses. Where does the money go to? So if you begin to rechannel those funding into the security architecture, you will understand that. Of course, all of us even have megas, you know. If you, in our streets, in our street corners, we have gates, we have all sorts of things, and we are paying for. So if you put all those monies in the center, it will be more efficient to manage. And of course, we can now have better security because, of course, the synergy has been developed. It's not about funding alone. There are also a network of so many retired veterans that are sitting in these local governments, in villages that don't have much to do. To bring them into the system, you're already earning pension already. So just tell them, look, we want you to look after this and this and this. And then maybe with some little motivation additionally, they will do the job. So it shouldn't be about funding.
But then who should take that responsibility in specific terms?
The responsibility is total. From the citizen to the local government, most of these people have industries embedded in them. They have mineral resources embedded in them. We have to unbundle all those things. Where is this thing going to? It goes back to the issue of restructuring. It goes back to the issue of minimum wage. We pay people very well, and you tax them for security. They will be. If I can pay so much amount for security, I can sleep very well without thinking that somebody will lose my 4 tires. If I should park outside my house, I think I will be glad to contribute.
A lot of taxation for
all of these are still in the subjunctive because if I could. But then one of the problems or one of the arguments has been that should they carry weapon? What kind of weapon are they going to be using? Because we already know that the federal policing system has its own weaponry. The Nigerian army, the military generally, they also have. So what about the state police? Are they going to carry weapon? Is it just dagger or what's it called? That long one, rifle or anyone?
Dane gun.
Dane guns.
Thank you, Ibrahim. This is taking us to a very, it's another wide area of discussion. Yeah. The issue of proliferations of small weapons and light weapons.
Light weapons.
You will be amazed at the volume of illicit arms that illegally in the hands of people who shouldn't have them to even start with. So I'm talking about people who, even arguing within their group, their gangs, they call groups, they are armed to the teeth. Of course, you have also the smugglers, the oil thieves. And so when you now think of that the state police should not be armed, they should be armed according to the level of threat. And don't forget that the military still exists in all these spaces. Look, I was listening to the news, this newspaper review, and some people are asking for establishment of a military base in Benue. In how many places will you put the military? They're already overtasked. They're already stretched and suffering. And the military don't come out the way they are being used now. You see here of Banex today is this, the other way is tomorrow, army versus this. It's because they are overstretched and they are already being taxed. Many of them are suffering from a lot of issues, PTSD and things that can easily be ignited. So we need to give them the level or the kind of arms that is suitable for their duties. We already have neighborhood watch in Lagos, for instance. They are not armed, they are carrying cordials, but they are effective. So let them see how to stitch together all this.
Their effectiveness is not tied to the weapons they carry. That's what you're saying.
Not really.
Right, okay.